There is a skill in business that I believe is the foundational, fundamental skill that all business owners must acquire and develop if they're going to be successful. It doesn't matter if today is your first day in business or if you're a seasoned veteran business owner with decades of experience. You need this skill if you sell e-commerce, if you sell coaching, if you're an author and you want to sell lots of books, if you sell, if you are a lawyer, a doctor, a plumber, if you want to raise venture capital and you want to raise millions of dollars, and you want to use this skill, it is the primary skill that's necessary for you to build a business that creates wealth for your family. The skill that I'm talking about is selling. Now, when I say selling, I'm not talking about talking people into buying your product. I'm not talking about talking people out of their money. I'm not talking about convincing people to say yes when they'd rather say no. That's not selling. That's what people who are in the field of selling, but they're terrible at selling, do that makes you think you don't like selling. Because I'm going to tell you something. If I had to talk people out of their money and into my product, I would hate selling. If I had to convince people to buy something from me, I would hate selling. I would hate it. It feels so yucky to me. If my primary motivation for making a sale was making money, I would feel yucky. Now, I know that sounds, and some of you are probably like, what are you talking about? That is what selling is. No, that's not what selling is. That's what people who are in the field of sales and terrible at selling resort to, that makes normal people like us hate what we thought was selling. Selling is not convincing. Well, Myron, if selling's not convincing, what is selling? Selling is persuasion. Now you're just using words in your... No, I'm not. I'm going to give you a definition for both. I'm going to give you a definition for convincing, then I'm going to give you a definition for selling. My definition for convincing is when I attempt to get you to do something I desire you to do for my reasons. So when I'm convincing, who am I thinking about? I'm thinking about me. And if I'm thinking about me, that feels yucky to you because I'm talking to you and attempting to get you to think about me. But it feels yucky to me because I feel the resistance you have when I'm attempting to get you to think about me, when you'd much rather have me demonstrate that I've been thinking about you. Am I telling the truth, everybody? Yes? And so what we've got to do is we've got to get to the place in our lives where we remove ourselves from the equation other than a vessel to serve a solution to somebody other than us. That's what I'm talking about when I say selling. So convincing is when I attempt to get you to do something I desire you to do for my reasons, and I'm thinking about me. Selling is persuasion. What's persuasion? Persuasion is when I help you make a decision you already desire to make for your own reasons. That's selling. But if you already have a desire, there's no resistance. Because I'm only talking to you about something you desire me to talk to you about. If I'm talking to you about your reasons and your results and the stuff that you're passionate about, you're not going to have any resistance about that. If you've had, oh man, I wish I had this, I wish I could do this XYZ thing, but you've never been able to figure it out, and all of a sudden, somebody comes along and says, hey, you know that XYZ thing you've been attempting to figure out for the last 15 years? I figured it out. You're not going to say, get out of my face, man. Why are you trying to sell me something? You're not going to say that. You say, what did you figure out? And you're all leaned in. And so, selling is not about talking people out of their money and into your product. What if you could sell something that really makes a difference in somebody's life, and they appreciated you for it. And sometimes, I know this sounds weird, they even thank you in tears for the ability to buy it from you. How would that change? Are you a doctor? Are you a lawyer? Do you have an e-commerce brand? Are you a coach? Are you an author who just wants to sell lots of books? Do you have a landscaping business, a plumbing business, hey, when I got a plumbing problem, the plumber doesn't have to sell me on the idea that he needs to come to my house and he's going to charge me whether he fixes it or not. Fix it or don't fix it. Come look at it. Because I know you can't charge me so much that I'm going to want you to not fix it. Because not having this problem fixed is way worse than spending the money to get it fixed. See, I think one of the reasons people struggle with selling is because of the misperception that's been created by all the bad salespeople in the world. And most salespeople, I'm going to say upwards of 80% of people who sell anything are so woefully awful that you don't want to talk to a salesperson, not because you hate salespeople, you just hate the yuckiness of the experience. Like, I can go into a business knowing that I desire to buy something and meet a salesperson that makes me want to leave before I spend any money. Because they're being that guy or that girl. Get away from me. Because the only reason I exist in their mind is so they can make a commission. When I'm selling something, the absolute last person on earth I should be thinking about is myself. Why? Because me thinking about me does not serve you. And me thinking about me does not serve me. Why? Because I'm not serving you. And the only thing you're willing to pay me for is something that serves you. Is what I'm saying making sense? Yes? Okay, so the title of this video today is Simple Speed Wealth. Why and how to get rich quick in a rapidly changing world. And the world is changing so fast right now. It's dizzying. I came into my studio this morning. The people who are here know this. But I came to my studio. I was all amped up because I literally, from the time I got to my office this morning at 7:15 until 9:30, I got a week's worth of work done. Like, literally produced more in that time frame than I've gotten done. In fact, it didn't even start when I got here. It started in the car. And when I was on my way here, literally got a week's worth of work done this morning. And so the world's changing so fast that you have to, like, if you're serious about creating generational wealth for your family, you have to get over your version that you've been warned about your whole life of getting rich quick. Like, get rich quick is a negative connotation. Beware of the get rich quick scheme, right? What is a scheme? What is the word scheme short for? Schematic. What's a schematic? It's a plan. So I'm supposed to beware of the get rich quick scheme. Do you understand that more than 90% of people struggle financially on some level? And they have to think about everything they desire to do for themselves or for their family or for any cause that they care about. They have to determine it based on the money. How much does it cost? That's the first question most people ask. Wouldn't it be so much better in your life if, when you're evaluating what gift to buy for your spouse or what blessing to be to your children or what blessing to be to your church, wouldn't it be much better if how much does it cost was the last question instead of the first question? Well, here's why it can't be the first question. Here's why it can't be the last question for you yet. Because you've been warned your whole life about get-rich-quick schemes. But nobody ever warned you about the stay broke for the rest of your life scheme. So that's the one everybody signed up for. They're afraid to get rich quick, but they're not afraid to stay broke for the rest of their lives. Now, why do I say that like that? Because wealth is measured more in time than it is in money. That's the first, like, if you want to apply simple speed wealth to your business, to your life, to your finances, you have to recognize that wealth is measured more in time than it is in money. What does that even mean? Wealth is measured in time. I'll show you, because I can say that all day long, but if I'm going to show you on my digital blackboard what I mean when I say that. And when you get your mind wrapped around this idea, maybe you'll have a shift that'll change your life and maybe catapult you into a whole new financial stratosphere. Okay. So, hit whiteboard? Okay, cool. So, is it going to be white? It's going to be white. And then do the what? Oh, right here, yeah. I'm going to change it to black just because, where do I don't see it. Oh, down here?
Right next to the title.
Oh, this, okay. There we go. Okay, so now, here's question number one. I want everybody to answer me audibly. You ready? If I make $1 million, am I rich? Everybody answer audibly right now. Answer.
No.
Okay, some people said yes, some people said no. I heard one person say the actual answer. It depends. What does it depend on? Well, let's see. Let's do it together. Let's find out together what it depends on. If you make $1 million, are you rich? It depends. Well, if you make, say, $25,000 per year, and you work for 40 years, you made $1 million. Are you rich? No. Okay. So let's say, so this is this person over here. This person worked, they made $25,000 a year for 40 years. You, on the other hand, somehow figure out, by the grace of God, how to make $1 million and throw your pen. How to make $1 million in 1 year. Are you rich? That's not a trick question. Yes, you're rich. Okay, now you're not Bill Gates rich, but you're rich. $1 million a year is rich. Here's how much $1 million a year is. It's about 84,000 some odd dollars a month. Let's just call it 85,000 a month. If you make 85,000 a month, most people would be ecstatic if they make 85,000 a year. But 85,000 a month, yes, you're rich. And if somebody tells you you're not rich, they're confused. Okay? Okay. Now, not only are you rich, we know exactly how much richer you are than this person. You are 40 times richer than the person who makes $1 million over 40 years, even though you both made the same amount of money. So what determined whether or not the person was rich? How much money they made or how fast they made it? How fast they made it. So one of the things we have to do is we have to increase the velocity, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute, of our revenue generation. But what if somehow you figure out how to make, let me say this is you. I mean, this is one guy, that's your next door neighbor over here, but this is you. And you somehow figure out how to make $1 million every month. Are you rich? You're really rich. You're 12 times richer than that person. You're 480 times richer than that person, even though all of you made the same amount of money. So wealth is measured more by time than it is by amount of money. Now, if you don't wrap your mind around that, you're going to stay stuck in the stay broke for the rest of your life scheme. See, all of you, everybody watching me on YouTube right now, everybody in this room right now, you all already make enough money to be rich. You just don't make it fast enough. See, in the season of your earning, the time between sowing and reaping is too long. You need to shorten the gestation period between your sowing and your reaping. Now, I'm gonna give you a very I'm gonna give you a very plain, easy explanation. How often do people? In fact, I'm gonna go to a new page. How often do people get paid? How often? Once a month, okay. Twice a month. Once a month, twice a month, or once a week. This is how often people get paid. Now, how often do people spend money? Let's talk about that. Okay, so let's call it spend money all day, every day. Okay, if you're spending money all day, every day, and you're getting paid once a month, twice a month, or once a week, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out this is a formula for financial disaster eventually. And in the words of my good friend Kenny Grant, eventually is undefeated. And it's coming for you. And so, what if you could figure out how to take your annual income and make it monthly? Well, here's what we know. Financially, that would make your life 12 times better. What if you could do it again and take that new monthly income and figure out how to make that weekly? Well, that would make it 4 times better. And over a year, it would make it 480 times better. So, it's such a simple equation. If you don't have some sort of asset selling mechanism in place that you can sell and collect money for every day, you signed up to spend money all day, every day, and to get paid every now and then. So doesn't it make sense that if there were a way for you to figure out how to get paid all day, every day, exactly how you spend money, it would make sense to do it. Okay, so perfect. Everybody gets that. So I'm going to go back over here to my trusty director's chair. I don't know what I'm directing, but let's pretend I'm directing something. So if I am going to learn how to take my annual income and turn it into my monthly income, and I'm going to create simple speed wealth, how to get rich quick in a rapidly changing world, there are 5 things I must do. The first thing I must do is I must sell with value. And so when I say sell with value, I mean only sell things that other people value. See, most people in business think that value is whatever they say it is. No. Just because you're a business owner and you say it's valuable doesn't make it valuable to anybody but you. So, if you really want to get rich and you really want to learn how to sell, you better get good at discovering what other people value. Because all of the money that you desire and don't have right now, it's in somebody else's pocket, somebody else's bank account, somebody else's investments. And if you create a solution for them that they value more than the money, they will happily hand it over. Now, I don't know if that's good news, sounds like good news to you or not, but that sounds like great news to me. You mean if I fix their problem, they'll pay me their money. That's crazy. When I think about the fact that I've got 2 ginormous, and when I say ginormous, I mean big old toolboxes that are full of tools for doing all kinds of stuff, like working on cars, working on a house, whatever. I got 2 big roller toolbox chest things that they're ginormous. And I know how to work on cars. But guess what I found out? If I take my car to the shop, they will fix it for me. I don't have to open a single drawer in one of those toolboxes. I don't have to get axle grease under my fingernails. I don't have to get knuckle busters on my fingers when I'm unloosening bolts and nuts. I can just pay them, and they do the whole thing. I take it in there broken, and I go pick it up, give them some money, and it's fixed. It's amazing. It's like a miracle. That's wild to me. I got a swimming pool. This thing is ginormous. It requires getting cleaned and serviced every week. I don't have the equipment. I don't have the chemical. I don't have nothing. But it still gets done every week because all I got to do is give them some money. You know why? Because I had a problem. I had a problem, and the problem was the solution. The solution was a swimming pool, so I can go get in it when I'm too hot and I want to be outside anyway. But the problem is I don't want to clean it, and I don't want to maintain it. So somebody said, well, guess what? If you'll pay me every month, I'll come and send somebody to come clean it every week. Man, child, please. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me 16 times. I have a huge yard. Guess what I don't have? I don't have a lawnmower. Don't own one. Don't own a lawnmower. Why don't I own a lawnmower? Because if I owned a lawnmower, I might get tempted to cut some grass. That is a temptation I have no desire to yield to. And somebody, oh, you're just being bougie. No. There's somebody who started a business that wanted to cut grass. So all they got to do is find people like me that don't want to cut grass as much as they do want to cut grass. And all I got to do is pay them. Man, if you think I ain't taking you up on that, you got me confused with Byron Silver. Like, sell with value. Only sell things that other people value. Now, I'm going to give you all some quick clues because I've covered this in other videos, so I'm going to go through it relatively quickly. How can I know what other people value? You can know what other people value by understanding where values come from. See, people value things based on their values. Well, where do their values come from? Well, 3 places values come from. Number 1, past perceived voids create present pursued values. What does that mean? Things that, if a person is going through life feeling like they've missed out on something their whole life, and all of a sudden they have an opportunity to get it, that is something they value. I always tell the story about my 1968 Pontiac GTO convertible that I wanted since I was in high school. Like, my friend Stan, his brother Lonnie had it was a 68 or 69 GTO, and it wasn't a convertible, but it was a really cool car. It was red, candy apple red. I'm like, I want that car. But Lonnie wouldn't sell it to me. So I said, okay, cool. I just waited. About 3 years ago, guess what I found on Facebook Marketplace? Broop, broop. A 1968 Pontiac GTO convertible. Automatic transmission, because young guys like to shift gears. Old guys, we just want to drive around in cool cars looking cool. Now, that car, brand new, off the assembly line, I looked it up. In 1968, was $3,370. $3,370. I bought it 3 years ago. You know how much it was? $40,000. And it needed restored. It needed body work. It needed paint. Oh, yeah. It needed some stuff. It was in relatively good shape for the shape it was in, but it needed some stuff. So then I paid thousands more dollars to get it restored. I paid more than 13 times as much just to buy the car than it cost brand new. Now, why would I do that? Surely it can't be worth it. It doesn't matter if it's worth it. It only mattered if it was worth it to me. And by the way, I was 17. I bought this 3 years ago, which means I would have been 62. And 62 minus 17 is 45. So I wanted that car for 45 years. Do you know how much anticipation you can build up in 45 years? Well, enough to pay 13 times for something than it costs brand new. So if I can figure out what somebody believes they've been missing out on for a long period of time, selling becomes easy. Why? Because I'm not attempting to talk somebody into something that they don't want, don't need, and can't afford. I'm just revealing to somebody that I have the solution that they've been looking for. Phew. Where do values come from? Number one, past perceived voids create present pursued values. Number two, present perceived virtues create present pursued values. Virtue is good. Like something that's virtuous is good. So, 65, I don't want to be a decrepit old man. If somebody's a decrepit old man, I got nothing against you. I just don't want that for my life. So, I hired a health expert. You know how I know he's a health expert? Because he's only maybe a year, 2, 3, 4 younger than me. Maybe 5 years, 6 years, I don't know. But he's not that much younger than me. And he looks like he just stepped off the cover of a superhero magazine. And he and his wife, they have a supplement business where they manufacture their own supplements and create workouts for people and all. And so this guy, his name's Doug. Doug has a program where he'll be your health coach. And you get all your supplements for the whole year are included, and the workout plans and everything, and then an accountability call once a week. And it's only $50,000 a year. Why would I pay somebody $50,000 a year to be my health coach? They don't even live in Florida. Well, here's why. Because a present pursued virtue of mine is I want to be stronger longer. And so I exercise. And I know tomorrow night, when I talk to Doug, I'm going to have to tell him, like, how did I do on my exercise? How did I do on my supplements? How did I do on my nutrition? How did I do on my mindfulness? Like, he's going to ask me all these questions. And I'm thinking about my Tuesday night call every day. Because I don't want to get on the phone with Doug and say, well, no, I didn't do it. Because he will come at me, bro. Like, he'll get on my case. So, I value being stronger longer. Why? Because one of the greatest experiences I've ever had in my life was dancing with my daughter at her wedding. My granddaughter will be 7 in July. I am so looking forward to dancing with my granddaughter at her wedding. She's 7 now. If she gets married at the same age that her mother did, and the same age that her mother's mother did, she would get married at 21. She may not get married that soon, but if she does, she'll be 7. That's 14 years from now. 14 years from now, I'll be 79. I want to have enough strength and vitality and groove in my step that when me and my granddaughter dance at her wedding, it is a vibe. Why? So for me, it's worth $50,000 a year because I want to be stronger longer. And I could go on because, like, I also hired a golf fitness performance coach to help me learn how to hit the golf ball farther and with more club head speed and more smash factor and all this other stuff. And that was $6,000 a year. You say, why would you pay somebody that much money? Because it's a present perceived virtue. So for me, it's a present pursued value. The last thing is future perceived visions create present pursued values. In other words, a vision that I have for the future that is a clear vision, I am willing to spend as much money as I have to on it. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when I first got ready to set up my OpenClaw for AI, right? And I needed, well, you got to have a Mac Mini, but a Mac Studio Pro is better. But it's a really interesting, like for people who want to have localized AI on that they use, that's on a computer that they own instead of out there in the cloud. It's becoming increasingly hard because the demand is so high that Apple, one of the largest companies in the world, can't keep up with the demand. And so I ordered they don't the maxed out Mac Studio Pro would be a Mac Studio Pro M3 Ultra with 256 gig of RAM, and like you could get a hard drive that would be a gigabyte hard drive, I mean a terabyte hard drive or a 2 terabyte hard drive. And that computer was $8,000 and you couldn't get one till August. This was back in April. Couldn't get one till August. If I got one with 96 gig of RAM and a 1 terabyte hard drive, it was like $6,000 and couldn't get it till the end of May, like sometime in May. So I ordered 2 of the ones you could get in May and 2 of the ones you could get in August. And then God loves me the most, apparently, because my Apple business rep called me on the phone. Literally, I ordered the computer on a Friday. The next Monday, my Apple rep calls me and says, "Hey, Myron, I just got a refurb in. It's an M3 Ultra with, which means it's a Mac Studio Pro, and it's got the M3 Ultra chip, and it's got 512 gig of RAM, which they don't even make those anymore. And it's got a 16 terabyte hard drive. Do you want it?" Yes, I want it. It's $12,000. I don't care how much it is. I want it. Okay? My future perceived vision is what caused me to value that enough to say, I will pay you $12,000 for that right now and take my money now before somebody else buys it. Now, I just found out yesterday that same computer, I just bought it in April. That same computer right now would probably cost $30,000. Future perceived visions. And so because I knew what I wanted to do with AI and how I wanted to utilize it, I had this vision that gave me the inspirato to say, $12,000, I'll take it. Future. So if you can, why am I telling you all that? I'm telling you that to illustrate to you that if you can figure out what's been missing for people in the past and what they perceive as being really, really good for their present, and something that helps them fulfill their vision for the future, any one of those things gets you closer to a yes in sales. All of those things together, oh, it's a slam dunk. By the way, would y'all like for me to give you a free gift on selling? Okay. How to get, and the 7 biggest mistakes that people make when attempting to sell something. And if you go to salesmovegift.com, sales moves, sales, plural, moves, plural, gift, singular.com, you're going to get a PDF that has the 7 biggest mistakes people make when desiring to sell something. Okay, so, by the way, there's 5 points. I only gave you one of them so far. 5 points if you want to be like, if you want simple speed wealth and you desire to create like wealth in a rapidly changing world. So number 1, sell with value. Number 2, sell with virtue. What does that mean? Only sell what is good for other people. Don't ever sell anything to anyone that's good for you and bad for them. Always put the person you're selling to in front of yourself and above yourself, so you're only going to sell them something that does them good. This is how you exercise love in the marketplace. I love you so much, I'd never sell you anything that would harm you. Man, if you could sell like that, you wouldn't hate selling, would you? That'd be kind of fun. I only sell people stuff that they desire to buy, and I only sell them stuff that's good for them. Man, sign me up for that program. So sell, number one was sell with value. Number two was sell with virtue. Now, number three, speed wealth, is to sell with velocity. Now, when we think of velocity, we think of speed, and we're correct because speed is one of the characteristics of velocity. But see, speed by itself can be dangerous. You have to have velocity. And velocity means you have speed in a particular direction, speed in the direction of your desired outcome. So you want to have velocity. Speed just tells you how fast something's going. Velocity tells you how fast something's going and what direction it's going in. So you don't want to just be moving fast, going nowhere, or moving fast away from your target. You want to be moving fast towards your target. So you need to sell with velocity. By the way, selling with virtue and selling with value will help you sell with velocity. Because what happens when you sell somebody something they desire and you sell somebody something that is good for them, guess what they're going to do? They're going to tell other people. Think about how many times you on this YouTube, out there in the YouTube sphere, you in this room, you out there in the YouTube sphere, you've seen one of my videos. And, oh, I know this person needs to see this. This person needs to see this. That person needs to see this. Oh, I got to send this to so-and-so. Why? Because I served you so much value and so much virtue, you felt like you had to share it with other people. What if the virtue and the value that you created was so great for people that they just couldn't help but share it with somebody? Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't it be amazing to create a solution? Some people call it a product. But see, an iPhone's not a product. It is now, but when Steve Jobs created it, it wasn't a product. It wasn't a product. It was a solution. What was the solution? Well, it's a phone. It's a browser. It's a music player. It's a phone. It's a browser. It's a music player. It's a phone. He must have said that 100 times at the Apple Developer Conference in 2007 when he introduced the iPhone. And he always introduced it before it came out. Why? Because he was building anticipation in the hearts of the people for a solution that, based on his observation of them, he realized they wanted it before they realized they wanted it. Sell with velocity. Make lots and lots of sales in a very, very short period of time. It'll change your life. If you create a solution, I want to show you how simple it is. You create a solution and it's $100. And you got this offer and you're selling it for $100. Do you realize you only need to make 100 sales to make $10,000? You know how much 100 sales is? That's 3.3 sales a day for a whole month. If you have a $1,000 solution for people, that's only, I want you to think about this, that's only 10 sales. $1,000 solution, 10 sales. But what if you have a $1,000 solution, you make 100 sales, 3 sales a day for it? That's $100,000 in a month. It's so interesting that we never stop, or we seldom stop to think about the fact that somebody created this solution that a whole bunch of people desired to have, and now they became millionaires and billionaires. Why? Because they were obsessed with solving somebody else's problem. Sell with velocity. That's speed in a direction. You're optimized, so only sell what other people value. Sell with virtue. Only sell what's good for other people. Optimize your sales engine with speed, or better yet, velocity. That's sell with velocity. Optimize your sales engine with speed. And then number 4 is sell with volume. optimize your sales for TAM, which stands for TAM takeover. TAM stands for total addressable market. So what I want to do, I want to create or develop a solution that's so good that when I introduce it to the marketplace, I take over the TAM. I become the number one player in the space. I sell with that much volume. Well, by the way, these things are progressive. If I'm not selling people virtue and I'm not selling people value, I can't sell with volume, because all I'm doing every time if I'm selling somebody something that's not virtuous to them, it's not valuable to them, all I'm doing is letting the world know how terrible I am. And so bad news travels faster than good news. It's so interesting. The Queen of Sheba was a skeptic. And I know she was a skeptic. But she came to Jerusalem. This is what the scripture says in 1 Kings chapter 10. The Queen of Sheba came to see Solomon and ask him questions about how to run her kingdom. After he answered all her questions, she said, "It was a true story that I heard in my own country about your acts and about your wisdom. Howbeit, I did not believe until I came, and my eyes have seen." And then she said this, "And behold, the half was not told me." So I thought you were half as good as I heard you were, and I came to find out that you were not only not half as good as I was told you were, you're more than twice as good as I was told you were. What? That's a level right there. That is a level that will help you, because even your competition in their minds, because in your mind, if you really understand how it works, you have no competition. Like, I have no competition. But the people who think they're your competition, like, they'll be telling people about you. Like, you know what's interesting? I got a Voxer message last week from a very, very large influencer. He said, "Hey, Myron, so-and-so, this other influencer, they are doing a challenge, and they're planning on having 2.4 million people in this challenge. And they wanted to know if you'd like to help with the repitch." Let me think about it. Okay. And I'm like, people reach out to me and say, "Hey, I would like to partner with you on something." People say that all the time. I don't have time to partner with everybody. So I have to be very selective. But like I'm thinking about 2 partnerships that I did this month, this year, where in 2 months, those 2 partnerships made me more than $2.5 million. Why? Because I'm selling, and it gives me the ability to sell with volume. Why? Because I figured out a way to make it a win for them, a win for the people they serve, and if it's a win for them and a win for the people they serve, then it's obviously going to be a win for me. And then lastly, this is the one that it's going to require you to put some attention, intention, and energy into. Sell with virality. What that means is overtake and saturate your TAM, your total addressable market, with profound and prolific content. Profound content goes viral. But it's not enough for the content itself to be viral, to be profound. The content has to be profound, but the container of the content also has to be profound. What do you mean, container of the content? Okay, let's talk about YouTube for a second. If you have a great YouTube video and a terrible thumbnail and a terrible video title, the thumbnail the thumbnail title, and the video title are the container of the content. The content itself is the video. If the content is good, but the container's terrible, nobody's going to watch it. If the container's great and the content's not great, and the content doesn't even start great, people will watch it, but they'll start watching it, but they won't finish watching it. So, in order for you to create rapid riches or to create like simple speed wealth, one of the things you want to do is you want to sell with virality. And it's so interesting when I say sell with virality, like content goes viral when it's interesting to a whole bunch of people, like millions of people. How do I make my content interesting to millions of people? By talking about things that are interesting to millions of people, instead of attempting to get millions of people to be interested in what you're talking about, which is what most people do. It's pretty simple to understand what millions of people are interested in. Like millions of people are interested in better health. Millions of people are interested in more wealth. Millions of people are interested in a better relationship. Millions of people are interested in AI. Millions of people are interested in educating their children. Like there's so many, like talk about things that millions of people are interested in, but talk about them in ways that are unique. So, what unique means is the content must first be profound. And what that means is it answers complex questions with simple, easily applied solutions. And then you have to be prolific with profound content. What's prolific mean? It means you have to create a lot of it. You have to do a lot of quantity at quality in order for you to become viral. And so if you will do this, it will take your business to a place you didn't imagine it could go. When I started applying the last one of these, number 5, sell with virality, to my business, when I first applied this back in 2022, the year before that, we had done about $2.6 million in sales. Started doing YouTube videos consistently that started going viral. Our business did a jump just by adding that one thing. No ads, no nothing, just by doing that one thing, profound, prolific content. Our business revenue went from from 2.6 million to 6.2 million in 1 year. The next year it went from 6.2 to 18 million. I'm not giving you theory here. I am telling you what I've observed from decades of experience being an entrepreneur. The primary skill